Hey guys, what's up? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to my Dire Maul North Tribute Run Guide. Tips and tricks, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but here we go. So first things first, I'm going to dismiss the pet. I'm going to wait for that ogre that was right in front of me to pat to the right. Now on your left hand side there's a few ogres. Sometimes there's one close enough to you to want to scatter shot. Once you do, you can jump up here, hide behind a pillar and feign death, and then move along where my guy is moving now. Once you reach this point, go ahead and drop down, summon the old pet. Now you're going to be sending him to one of those ogres on the right hand side, and then once he's hit them, you want to send him to one of the ogres on the left to buy you some time. There can be some patrols up top right before the courtyard. You need to keep an eye on where those are in order to avoid them. Right here on the left hand side, an ogre is patrolling towards me. I end up aggroing the hyena on the right because I was trying to compensate, and got hit by a frostbolt because I'm bad. Just kidding. But we feigned, good to go. I'm not bad, by the way. I'm gonna run through here, avoid all the patrols, pick up the key. I want to keep an eye out because the guard moves pretty fast around here, and if he comes through, you're gonna have to either run away from him, feign, or if you're night elf, shadow mode. But usually he doesn't patrol through the courtyard for a little while. I'm gonna dismiss Pat. Run through here. So ogre on the left, shouldn't pull. The hyenas on the right do. Want to mention the area I jumped on is a safe spot. If you jump on there, as long as there's no ranged enemies, they will bug out and then reset. But to save time, I just went ahead and feigned, ran towards the door. The key will open it, summon pet again, make him happy with food, and then have him stay. Now there's one thing about the pets that are really good, is if you hit stay, tell them to attack something, and then hit passive, they will run back to where they were staying. Really helpful for this run. You can see, I'm sending him stealth to hit this mob, hitting passive, and he just runs straight back to where I told him to stay. Now these mobs in the hallway are a little tricky sometimes. The demons can ban it, or can slow you, they cripple you. Can be really annoying. Don't freak out. You should be able to get to where you need to go and feign. The warlocks can turn and immolate you, which will daze you if you have cheetah. Or even worse, sometimes they banish you. Now if they banish you, try to stay calm. It's like a 13-second banish. You might die to it, you might not. Just hope that they don't banish you, because it's a really fast cast, and scatter shot the warlock before they banish you would be really impressive. You can give it a shot, but you just want to hope that it doesn't happen. I rarely get banished, rarely. Now I'm waiting here because there's an Eye of Kilrog that's about to patrol back, and you do not want to be doing some some pulls while an Eye of Kilrog coming through, because that's a lot of multitasking, and hunters are not good at that. We just shoot our arrows, take all the loot. So I'm going to send my pet at this pack right here, and then send him back to the other pack, speed him up. He got crippled by the demon, so I know that I'm not going to get crippled. Keep an eye on this warlock, make sure I'm not getting banished. Run to here. You want to sit right in the middle of the diamond, feign death. You can see I kind of watched to make sure that the feign worked. Summon my pet back up, get him healthy. Now this is probably one of the trickier pulls, because the next guard patrols up ahead, if you're not careful, and be there waiting for you. I'll tell you what to do if that happens right after this pull. So I wait to make sure that my feign death cooldown is low enough that I'll be ready to feign once this pulls over. You want to let your pet go for the first insect and then kind of chill there for a second or two, so that all the insects aggro to your pet, not you. As you can see, the guards are there. I'm going to wait for him to go around over here and feign. There's one thing that I failed to mention back in that hallway with all the bugs. Sometimes there are little pods to the left and right side of the room. That's why I hug the wall so close, because sometimes the pods can explode and there are lashers in there and they will eat your ass. And that's not what we're here for in this run. We're not here for ass eating, we're here to clear. Over there in the corner, I kind of moused over the bonfire. Sometimes there's a chest there. I have kill rog. Arcane shot, auto shot will do the trick. Feeding my pet. Healing him. Drinking. You always want to come over here with lots of mage water. Mage food. Lots of food for your pet. But then again, if you complete a tribute, you get a ton of food and water. Even for your pet. What I do here is I dismiss the pet. Because liability sometimes. And then you don't have to shadow meld, but being a night elf, shadow melding is nice. Gives you some leeway. Wait for this guy to pat back. You no longer have to worry about the Eye of Kilrog. We've already killed it. Wait for this guy to go back. You want to wait for him to go all the way to the left side of the room, given the way the character's facing right now on his left. You want to wait for him to go all the way around, because if he aggroes to you, you're going to be having a bad time. Fuck off. If you get charged by him, wait for the charge to complete before you feign. Now I want a scatter shot, concussive shot, keep those guys CC'd, do a little bit of feign here. Boom, boom, boom. Improve feign death, super important, guys. Super important. Pop an invisibility potion, gives you 15 seconds. You have to start running immediately. Make sure you have cheetah on. Movement speed to boots is super helpful. You should have that on anyways. If you don't, you're bad. And so you go ahead and move through here. It's going to kind of stress you out. You're going to be like, oh my god, my invisibility potion is going to run out too soon. Nah, you're fine. You get up to about here. Even if you aggro, just feign. You should be fine. Just get around the corner and feign. Don't panic. It's one of the things that ends a lot of runs. Panic. Gonna have my pet stay down there with the stay command. Gonna go ahead and lay a frost trap. I'm gonna stealth my pet, have him run up to the top of the stairs here, and aggro the ogre I have targeted by the doorway. Now this is where this large Sephorium charge is going to come in handy. Please make sure you have this. If you get to this part of the run and you don't have it, have fun hearthing, dude. So he's gonna aggro the first ogre, then I'm gonna send him over to the ogres on the right, make sure he's sprinting. Have him go on passive, he'll run back to his stay spot, everyone will get slowed by the trap, and you run up to the door and have plenty of time to blow it the fuck up. Easy. Easy, easy. Now your pet may or may not die here. I believe mine dies here. Yep. Just depends on, sometimes the leashing's a little wonky. Drop a feign. Now sometimes I wait in this feign a little longer. I don't know why I didn't hear, but as you can see the ogre still has the frost aura on it, which means he's actively being slowed still. This can be kind of scary because sometimes it bugs out and you regain aggro based on him getting hit by the frost trap. If you want to just play it safe, stay in the feign until the frost trap's done. I'm gonna go ahead and have my pet go and stay behind that wall and then send him in. You don't have to have a stealth pet. Actually, a lot of people use the serpent that's got a ranged attack. I might even swap to that. It's really fast, really good. Got crippled here. One of the biggest things, don't panic if you get crippled. It's usually not a big deal. You know, if you've given yourself enough room between your pet running back and where you're running, you're usually fine. Drop a feign. I'll reset. And pet didn't die, so he's good. Pet dies a lot in these runs. That's why we get improved revive pet. Saves a lot of time. Saves a lot of mana. Right, now we're moving on to one of the, I think it's second to last pull before you actually start killing things. You want to go ahead and send your pet towards the captain here. Then immediately send him over to the farthest ogre you can. Have him sprint. Boom, boom. Usually my pet dies here. It's like 9 out of 10 times my pet will die here. You just don't get far enough to leash it. Do another feign. Easy, easy, as you can see. As long as you play it safe, gather enough distance, pretty simple to get through most of the dungeon. I'd say the hardest parts are like hallway with the bugs in it, and then using the invisibility potion. I mean, that's not hard. It's just that whole little hallway into ramp situation is kind of probably the most technically challenging area. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Right here, I like to have my pet stay in that corner, have him launch over while I put this trap down. It just buys me a little extra time. 9 out of 10 times, I save my pet here. Sometimes get unlucky, my pet gets crit. It is what it is. I believe he's safe here. I'm gonna hug this wall as to not aggro the hyenas. Now, if you've done everything correctly, once you feign, there is a pack of hyenas that patrol all around the courtyard. And as you can see, they are up on the terrace right now. Now, you want to take as much advantage of this as you can. You want to stand where I'm standing as to not aggro these spirits on the outskirts of the arena. They will keep you in combat. Feign. So you want to stand right about where I'm standing and prep to kill these hyenas. The reason why we're killing them is if you do not kill them during the boss fight, if you take too long and these guys pat back around, you basically lose the fight no matter what. These guys hit like trucks. They're fast as frick, and you just don't want to deal with them. So what I did is I targeted the lowest level one first, set down that frost trap, ready myself. You want to get as much damage off here as you can. These guys are annoying. You have to kite them. I get a mark, aimed, multi. Big damage off. You can see the first one is already basically below half health. Point that I send my pet in. Where the kiting begins. Now, these guys need to be kited all the way up this ramp. You can see they're already catching up super quick, even through that trap. Now, here, you do not want to hug the lip of the ramp. You want to go over to the right. They can hit you standing down there, and it's not fun. It sucks. Especially if you have cheat on. So you want to create some distance from the lip of the ramp. Jump down here. Got hit anyway. See, it's bullshit. First hyena's dead. Take on the last two. Now at this point, it can get a little sketchy. Should have created more distance, but I didn't. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the first hyena. Harry, son of a bitch. As you can see, these guys hit like trucks. They can bleed, they can slow. You do not want to melee more than 2 of these guys at once. Or even just one, like really bad time. You can see how I'm basically already fighting 3 hyenas. But do the kiting correctly, they should all go down. If you're really unlucky, you might get 3 level 59 hyenas. It's at that point you basically just want to uninstall the game. Just kidding. It's at that point you just want to kite better than I did. You know, use your aspect of the cheetah to your biggest advantage. Get them down because you need to kill them. I mean, maybe not, but if you're learning this, you're not very good at it. Like if you're watching this video, chances are you failed some tribute runs. You want to kill those hyenas, trust me. Now, the reason why I'm running up here with my pet is because we're going to get our pet into optimal position for the fight. A lot of people, they use this ghost on the end here to have their pet sit there and attack or stand next to because it's easy. Me, I want to put my pet in that corner. The reason being, he is now out of line of sight of any attack that is brought by the king or the caster. They have to go all the way around the corner to hit him. If my pet was standing there attacking the ghost in the end, that gives you a lot less room to work with. The caster can start, you know, shooting a fireball or a lightning bolt at your pet from, you know, halfway down the arena. You don't want that. You want them to have to walk all the way. We're going to do the same trick. Once I'm all healed up, we're going to send my pet over to the boss and then have him passive back to his little corner. Now, if I could give one bit of advice, can't speak. If I could give one bit of advice for this fight, it would be to stay calm and keep your distance. That's literally it. I'm going to go ahead and send my pet in. As you can see, I'm standing in the middle of the arena so that my pet doesn't despawn. I'm going to run all the way around. Once he gets to that little base of the ramp area, I want to speed him up. And once he attacks, hit passive. Now, I get really lucky here. The main boss doesn't auto my pet. And the shaman does not get a cast off. Great. You want your pet to be as healthy as possible because The chances of making mistakes are high. If your pet takes some hits, it can be really detrimental to the run, especially if your pet dies, because then the run's over. You do not want your pet to die. As you can see, juggling aggro, Viper stinging the caster. It doesn't matter which caster it is. Every single caster you want to Viper sting. It makes the entire fight way easier, especially if you're against the shaman and the priest, because they heal and they bubble. It's fucking awful. Line up the aim shot. Damage off. Easy. I'm going to maximize your damage output here. Now, there's one thing I want to talk about. See that dark rock on the right? That is kind of like my focal point for when to feign for the main boss. Now, the caster boss, I kind of give him a little bit more leeway. I allow him to get a little closer because he is lower level. Feigning when enemies are further away gives you a less of a chance for them to resist it. The one thing that ended a lot of my runs, and I want to emphasize this point here, that you really need to feign once the big boss hits that rock. You do not want to let him pass it. And we're going to go ahead and get into this portion of the fight where I fuck up tremendously. It's amazing how bad I fuck up. It's so great, but it's a teaching moment, you know, teaching moment. I go ahead and feign here, and all would be fine, you know. I've saved the fight theoretically, all is well, but there's one thing I didn't take into account that I learned from doing this fight. Changing aspects can aggro the boss. Yep, it counts as a buff. Can aggro the boss. Right here, I'm caught out without feign. Charging my ass. Ready to go. And finally, luckily, I have feign. But wait, there's more. Guess who didn't know? Guess who didn't learn? Me! It was me! I didn't learn that changing aspects aggroes the boss. And I fuck up even harder. I Viper Sting the other boss, and I don't even get an auto off, so he doesn't get off my pet. So right now I'm in the worst situation possible. The caster is autoing and casting at my pet. I have King Gordick on my nuts while I'm feinless, and I'm just buying as much time as I can. And luckily, keep my cool, LOS the caster, gather as much distance as I can from the king, and boom, safe. Not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna fail this fight. Failing fights happens. Just part of doing tribute runs. Sometimes RNG just rams it in the rear. And you just have to take it and run back. But luckily, said before, if you keep your cool and don't let these motherfuckers hit your pet like I keep doing, you'll be good to go. But keep that in mind, hunters. Changing aspects can aggro the boss. Do not want to do it if you're without feign. You don't want to like feign death and then change into aspect of the hawk. You will be fucked. Almost guaranteed. So I'm going to go ahead and I think speed up the rest of the clip. Just make sure you're juggling these guys back and forth. Try not to let them hit your pet like I continue to do. Keep draining the caster, regardless of which caster it is. They're manaless. Basically useless. They run slower than the boss, and then they don't do anything. Especially this guy. He heals the boss. Fucking annoying. But anyways, drink when you feign. And here's the rest of the fight. Enjoy the music. And if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you have any suggestions on how I can improve my run, obviously there's probably a lot, but I struggled with this for about 3 days. Now I'm doing it without fail basically every time. So I think this method that I do worked really well. I helped one of my guildies do it. His first ever tribute run, I was on a Discord call with him and watched him do it, guided him, told him not to fucking panic, because he was. Told him chill, do this, you're good, you're good, you're good. And he did it on my first coaching session for him. And yeah. The boss hit your pet. I don't know what to say. Enjoy the music. I'm just gonna let you guys watch the rest of the fight. And don't forget the Viper Sting. Good for your soul.